Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's second video. So we're going to have a look at GFS Ensembles for today's second video. Done a weekend forecast earlier on today, and we're talking about chance of colder weather coming up at the end of the week, particularly next weekend, possibly lasting through to the following week. So looks like winds could turn into the north and bring down a real potent northerly wind next weekend. I want to have a look at the GFS ensembles for this evening's video to see how much support there is within the 21 member GFS ensemble suite. So that's what we're going to have a look at for tonight's second video. We're going to be looking from the 18th of December, which is a week away, to the 21st of December, which is 10 days away. Look at each individual member of the GFS ensembles for that time period. So just say that you can get to the video of weekend forecast here on the home page. Just scroll down the page a little bit and it's above the snow desk. There's also a written version. You can get to that from the buttons at the top of the page. Tomorrow we're going to have the 10th winter 2017-18 update. I'll talk about that at the end of the video. But we're going to begin having a look at the latest operational run of the GFS. This is the midday run, just come out a few minutes ago. So I'll just show you the very latest. Please use the website metrosil.fr, by the way, for this particular Ensembles Watch. So we're beginning here on the 15th of November, which is Wednesday. We've got high pressure to our south, low pressure is out to the northwest. It's going to be a quieter interlude for the middle part of the week, but then it turns unsettled into the second half of the week. There'll be quite a bit of rain coming through. And then, as we get through to the weekend, this takes us to the weekend, winds turning into the north again. So it's another run where we bring cold air down from the north and go into extended range of the midday run of the GFS. What happens is that we keep it cold and we try to run an area of low pressure in from the southwest. So we finish up, by the time we get through to the 21st of December, we've actually got a very cold easterly wind there with low pressure in the channel. But it's a month or so on, that would be southern England coming to a standstill with blizzards. Because it's still November, we've probably got a wintry mix of rain, sleet, maybe snow over high ground such as the Welsh Mountains, places like that. But really a very unusual scenario, what the very latest operational run that the GFS is doing with this deep low pressure through the channel. What happens eventually beyond that into the extended range is that the low pressure slips away to the south. We start to run low pressure in from the Atlantic, but we still keep things pretty cold and blocked really with high pressure up to the north of Scotland. The wind is still coming in from an easterly direction. So quite a cold run tonight from the midday run of the GFS. But just how much support does this initial northerly, because that's what we're going to concentrate on, everything else that happens beyond that is in the realm of speculation, to start getting things into a cold pattern, we've got to get that initial northerly down across the country next weekend. So how much support does that have within the GFS ensembles? So we're looking here on the 18th of November from the control run of the GFS first of all. You can see that the control run of the GFS, which is running at a slightly lower resolution compared to the operational run. So the control has us in a cold northwesterly wind with high pressure to the west, low pressure up to the northeast. So that one is going cold on the 18th of November. Let's run through the ensemble members. This takes us to ensemble member number 1, where we've got high pressure out to our west. We're bringing the air around the high pressure from a northerly direction, but it isn't that deep sort of northwesterly that we just saw with the operational and the control. So it's chilly on ensemble member number 1, but it isn't as cold as the operational. This is ensemble member number 2. Again, trying to get the wind into the north and northwest, but actually not overly cold on the 18th of November, a week's time, with ensemble member number 2. This ensemble member number 3, and this one does look cold. It's got a blocking feature out to our west, got low pressure up to the north, bringing down those cold northwesterly winds. This ensemble member number 4, that one has high pressure just to our northwest, so that's a more settled one. probably frosty and mostly dry. Ensemble member number 4. Ensemble member number 5 looks like that on the 18th of November, a week away. So again, the winds from the northwesterly direction, but it's not quite the cold northerly that we have on the operational and control GFS. This is ensemble member number 6. This one's showing low pressure to our south-southwest, and we're bringing down those cold northerly winds into Scotland. And then go through to ensemble member number 7. Now, this one just looks relatively mild, actually. You've got high pressure just to our southwest and around the top. We're bringing relatively mild air in from off the Atlantic. So you see, but within the GFS ensembles, this northerly next weekend is not a done deal. Now, this one looks cold. This ensemble member number 8, and this is bringing down a proper northerly wind across the country. That will probably bring in wintry showers to the north. This ensemble member number 9, this one looks quite mild. Away from Scotland anyway, where we are on the colder side of things, the air is generally still coming up from the Atlantic there with ensemble member number 9. That one looks cold. It's ensemble member number 10. And that's turning the winds into the north. See the difference between the different options that are available for next Saturday. So this one is really turning wind into proper northerly fetch from the Arctic. But just ensemble member number 9, that had the winds coming up from a milder Atlantic source. This is number 11, and this one doesn't look overly cold either. The coldest air with this one is just sliding down the North Sea to our east. This is ensemble member number 12. This one looks like it is going in a colder direction. I think if we ran on another day or so, this one really would turn the wind into the north. This is number 13. Looks mild, doesn't it? The wind's coming in from off the Atlantic for a week today with ensemble member number 13. This is 14, and this looks like it would go in a cold direction if we went on number 24 hours. That low pressure would push away to the east and would turn the wind properly into the north. That one's cold. It's number 15. Ensemble member number 15 has the wind in from the north. There's low pressure through the country as well. That could be producing wintry showers. Ensemble member number 16. So that's a bit of a messy one. It's mild in the south still. Probably quite cold in the north. Pressure is rising around Greenland, so that will probably get cold if we ran on. Ensemble member number 17 looks quite mild with high pressure still across northern France a week today. Ensemble member number 18 has high pressure out to our west. That one looks cold. The wind's coming in from a northerly direction. Number 19 also looking cold. Again, high pressure is out to the west, low pressure to the east, and the wind is properly turning into the north with that one. And then ensemble member number 20 for a week today, that also looking cold with winds in from the north. Let's run on to the 19th of November. And this is again come back to the control member of the GFS Ensembles. Again, that one looks cold. Winds are still in from the north. Number 1 has the ridge building through the country on the 19th of November. So cold air is into the east, not as cold in the west. Number 2, ensemble member number 2 has low pressure down to the southwest, low pressure up to the northeast. Again, that one's still not overly cold. So member number 2. Number 3 does look cold. It has high pressure out to the west, low pressure to the northeast. The winds are properly going into the north. This is number 4, taking high pressure out towards southern Greenland. And that one properly trying to get itself into a cold and block setup. Ensemble member number 5 looks relatively mild in the south and west, probably a bit colder up in the north. Ensemble member number 6 for the 19th of November has low pressure to our south. That one is cold, might be producing some wintry showers for England and Wales. Number 7, again, not overly cold. High pressure is centred more to the south, so we've got a bit of a feed of the Atlantic Ocean. The coldest there with that one going down into Scandinavia. Ensemble member number 8, so winds are in from the north. That was bringing wintry showers across the country. Ensemble member number 9 is generally Atlantic driven, away from northern Scotland where it's colder. That one is pretty mild. Ensemble member number 10 looks cold and frosty on the 19th of November. Ensemble member number 11 is cold. It's got northerly winds down the eastern side with wintry showers there. That one looks very cold. Number 12 has a blocking feature around Greenland and with firmly on the cold side of those northerly winds with ensemble member number 12. Number 13, cold for Scotland, less so for England and Wales. Number 14 looks like it's getting itself into a cold situation on the 19th of November as well. Number 15 looks very cold. That's got a blocking feature around Iceland with low pressure underneath it. That low pressure could be producing something wintry across parts of the country. Number 16 also looking cold on the 19th of November. That one looks quite stormy actually, so we've got gale force winds with that area of low pressure, and it's cold as well, so maybe blizzards over the Scottish mountains. But 17 looks very mild. We're bringing up wafting up a southwesterly wind there on the 19th of November. Number 18 is cold, but it's less cold than some that we've looked at. Number 19 is looking cold. Low pressure is over the country. We've got a bit of a block around Iceland. The wind is in from a north-northeasterly direction. And then number 19 also is looking cold. I should say number 20. Number 20, that looks cold. Low pressure is in the North Sea. Wind coming from a long way north, bitterly cold with wintry showers. Let's finish off at day 10, which is the 21st of November. Again, we come back to the control GFS ensemble member. Still looking cold with the control on the 21st of November. Day 10 has a high pressure out to the west, low pressure to the east. We're in a cold north-northeasterly wind and probably bringing snow showers to some eastern parts of the country. This is number 1. Ensemble member number 1 at day 10 has high pressure reaching through the country within a cold air mass, so there will be a lot of frost coming through with that. Number 2 looks relatively mild on the 21st of November at day 10. The air is coming up from a southerly southwesterly direction. Number 3 looks cold, and we've got low pressure to our south and to our east. Could be producing something a bit wintry. Number 4, still looking cold. We've got a proper blocking feature there around Greenland and Iceland. We've got still these northerly winds coming in. So that's one of the coldest ones, I think, ensemble member number 4 at day 10. Number 5 looks cold. Winds are in from the north-northeast, but very quick we would probably topple milder air around the top of the ridge from the Atlantic at day 10. Now that's another cold one. Number 6, a real block through the Atlantic going up to Greenland, and the wind is pushing down from the north at day 10. That's bringing snow showers to parts of the country. There will be some hard overnight frost as well. Number 7 does eventually get cold. Look at that, day 10. We're starting to pull in the winds from the northeast now as low pressure is pushing away to the south. So that one, it takes longer to do it, but number 7 does get cold in the end, whereas number 8 is reverting us back to milder westerly winds by day 10, 21st of November. Number 9 also looks relatively mild now. Milder air is coming around the top of that high pressure from off the Atlantic Ocean. Number 10 at day 10 is trying to get milder. It's pushing low pressure in from off the Atlantic. There's a bit of a battle going on there, so northern parts of the country could be getting heavy snow with that. In the south it is getting milder and also wetter as well. That one is cold. Number 11 at day 10 has low pressure just to the southwest of England, pulling in those easterly winds. That's kind of similar to what the GFS operational is doing at day 10. Has a bit of a low in the channel, easterly winds. There'd be a risk and a mix of rain, sleet and snow there at day 10. Number 12 also is cold at day 10. Number 13 is still cold at day 10, but will probably get milder if we run on a day or so afterwards. Number 14, that one looks cold at day 10. Number 15 has high pressure blocking around Iceland, and we're bringing in an easterly wind. So that one's drier at day 10, but it's still cold. The wind is pushing in from the east. Ensemble member number 15. Number 16 looks very cold at day 10. The blocking features to the south of Greenland. We're pulling down these really cold northerly winds, and there could be snow showers, especially in the north and the east, whereas number 17 looks mild. I think this one's been one of the milder ones all the way through. This one's still bringing the air in from off the Atlantic and not an overly cold source. Number 18 is cold. That one's got low pressure to the east of Scotland. Not as cold as some of what we've been looking at at day 10, but it is still quite chilly. Number 19, that one's cold. Low pressure is sitting over Denmark with high pressure out to the west, and the wind is still pushing down from a northerly direction. And then finally, we're at number 20, which is bringing low pressure in from off the Atlantic. Probably reasonably mild on the southern side of that low pressure, but pretty cold on the north. In fact, there would probably be snow there for Scotland, Northern Ireland, Northern England. As that low pressure exits away, if we ran on another 24 hours, which we can do, we're back to cold conditions coming in around that ridge. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag, but we've got fairly decent agreement. Considering we're talking about days 8 through to 10, we've got fairly decent agreement for a cold spell of weather to set up next weekend and into the early part of the following week. Now, you're never going to get total agreement between all 21 ensemble members and the operational run of the GFS. When you're talking about days 8 to 10, there will always be a little bit of disagreement with other options available. But I think as we look through this, whilst they do differ on the exact nature of this northerly wind and just how deep of a northerly wind it's going to be, how Arctic source it's going to be, I think we can say we are very likely to have some sort of cold spell over next weekend and into the following week. The detail, of course, is to be determined, as is the longevity of any potential cold weather and severity. It might just be a couple of days. We've seen within the ensembles, it might just be a couple of days of a cold snap, let's say, and a couple of frosty nights, a few wintry showers, and nothing more. It could be something much more significant than that, though. There are several ensemble members there that are doing something really quite unusual, actually, in terms of how deep the cold is. Doing something quite unusual for what is still only talking about the middle part to the second half of November. So we'll keep you posted over the next few days. As I say, tomorrow we have got the 10th Winter 17-18 update for you. That'll be issued at 10 AM tomorrow, so come back for that. It's a hurricane special to see what the big hurricane season we had this year, what effect that might have on the winter. Also tomorrow we'll have the 5th Christmas update as well, so keep checking back to the website for more. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching.